Hi there, Coach Sage Canaday of SageRunning.com here. The training talk on focusing on Footstrike. And again, we've covered this in our comprehensive running form video tutorial that I'll link to at the end of this video. But when focusing in on Footstrike, I just want to give you some key points for a proper Footstrike that hopefully reduce your risk for injury as well as increase your efficiency by making you have better running form. And a lot of people don't think about this too much, but if we're looking at a side view here, and we're going into a foot strike. I don't like the word foot strike because it implies that you're pounding down and stomping down into the ground, which you never want to think about. You want to think that the ground, and it's a lot easier because this is grass, but you want to imagine the ground is like soft eggshells or a thin layer of ice that you don't want to break, right? You don't want to stomp into it. You want to think, I'm going to step down. When my foot hits the ground, it's going to be as light as possible, as quiet as possible, and I don't want to break the eggshells. I don't want to break the ice there. So you're focusing on landing lightly as possible, but also you're not focusing on pushing down into the ground. You're focusing on pushing back, and not even pushing back, more like sliding back. So you want to envision that you're brushing gently across the ground. And a good drill for that is to basically do a walking paw back motion like this. So it's kind of like a high knee, getting in a high knee position. This is with my right leg. And then I'm bringing my foot forward, just like I would if I was kind of an exaggerated running motion. And I'm brushing the ground, basically. As my foot's coming back, it's brushing down into the ground like that. So kind of this paw back motion. You could practice it on using a tree or a pole or something like that. Just this light brushing motion. So the focus is on keeping your body nice and tall. Maybe you have to balance with a tree or a pole or a wall inside, and just practicing this motion when your knee's up, an exaggerated stride position, foot's coming forward, but then when you're hitting the ground, you're landing under your center of mass and it's a brushing across, moving back. And that's really the key motion that a lot of people have to think about when it comes to Footstrike, is not stomping down into the ground. The other key that I kind of illustrated with that point is that you don't want to be landing out in front of your body. Especially with your foot up in a heel strike. This is a really inefficient landing position. You see race photos where you're, landing like this, or you see people landing like this. They're braking, basically. You're coming down on your heel way in front of your center of mass, center of your body, and it's sending jarring reactionary forces up. Your knee's gonna have to take the brunt of that force. Your hip's gonna get jammed. Maybe your foot has to slap down and it's gonna give you shin splints the front of your shin. It's just a really inefficient motion. Always better to try to land as far back behind you as possible. Most people, maybe you're landing just out front and center of your body here, or you're trying to land underneath your center of body as you're running tall and you're leaning forward slightly, but you're keeping that hip thrusted forward. You're keeping your torso pretty straight up and down. So the other key part of that is the actual foot strike. So with the actual foot strike, a lot of people focus on how, they're worried about a heel strike. They're worried about their heel hitting the ground. They're only thinking about foot angle. So then they overcompensate. They overcompensate and they think, I have to land up on my toes. I have to run barefoot or something like that. And they try to force this toe strike way up on their toes. It jacks up your calves though. That puts a lot of stress on the Achilles tendon, a lot of loading there, a lot of stress on your metatarsals on the front part of your toes. It could lead to stress fractures in the foot, as well as any bone in your leg, basically. But the key really isn't to focus so much on the foot strike or to force a toe strike. You don't want to force any type of foot strike, but more think of, I'm landing on my whole foot. Maybe, it's slightly on the outside of your foot, but you're landing, when you look at pictures or you look at slow motion video of you running, you're landing under your center of mass, but the foot's basically coming down kind of all at once. Maybe it's slightly coming down somewhere in the middle, mid-foot strike is what we'd call it, but it's really a very quick action where the foot's coming right under your body. Again, it's not a forced toe strike, and it's definitely not a heel strike. You don't really want those, but that's really the key, some key pointers. And, another drill that you could do to reinforce that is, I linked to it in my stride rate or stride length video, is skipping as well as ballistic high knees drill. And we'll link to that video at the end of this video. But those are just my key points on the mindset that you need with a proper foot strike. Again, link to our comprehensive running form video up here on all the details kind of behind this, as well as our other running form techniques. Again, the stride length video and some other dynamic drills that you could do to increase that neuromuscular connection between your mind and your muscles. Again, thanks so much for subscribing. We got more videos coming for you on the way, as well as check out our website, sagerunning.com. We got a free training plan on there, as well as other tons of good stuff. So thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for more Sage Running videos.